it's really important to try to standardize your communication as much as possible. Most of us live off of smartphones these days. And if you can have a district app that provides one-stop shopping for families, if they can't remember what time parent-teacher conferences started, or if they can't remember the lunch menu for the next week, having a district-wide app that families can access to be able to get information pretty quickly to standardize a lot of district and school-wide communication.
You're listening to the smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Oakes. This is our District Talk segment where we interview district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday shine online. Now, let's get back to the interview.
I'm Bill Runey, the superintendent of the Dighton-Rehoboth Regional School District in Massachusetts. We are a regional school district that covers two towns, both Dighton and Rehoboth. We are a pre-K through 12 plus district, and we have about 2,700 students in our 5 buildings.
So great to have you here, Superintendent. I'm excited about our discussion where we talk about the current digital tools, the current landscape, and together how we can inspire other district leaders to keep students safe on these digital tools, make them resilient so they can launch into their future and use these tools as a launch pad in a safe way. So I'm pumped to have you here today. The first question I have for you, Superintendent, is what's one of the biggest accomplishments as a district that you've had over the past 1 to 4 years?
I arrived in 2022, and I think I've been most proud of the way that we've really been able to unify the district in the last 2 years. Anytime that you have a district that encompasses multiple towns, there's a blending of finances, there's a blending of cultures. And when I arrived, we definitely needed some culture work. And I'm just really proud of how we've been able to unify the district. I started an initiative called We Are DR, very similar to We Are Penn State.
Mhm.
And it has really served as a rallying cry for both of our towns. And the dynamic is much healthier now.
I love that. People resonate probably really well with that. That's a great idea. What advice do you have for other school districts to deal with possible social media issues that may originate on a social media app? Let's think TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, but then create a very real problem on one of the campuses that our superintendents in our network oversee.
Josh, I think anticipatory leadership is something that one of my mentors taught me many years ago. And in more simpler terms, get ahead of it. And we know that social media works at lightning speed, but if you get a sense as a building leader or as a district leader that there is something that is going to be a narrative created on social media, it's wise to get ahead of it. I communicate regularly with my school committee when we have issues in any of our buildings. And also I work with our building principals to be able to put out responsible and constructive messaging through our different portals to make sure that we are telling the narrative, not a narrative that's being created on social media.
You just said a great phrase. I think everybody who's listening or watching, the word anticipatory leadership, getting ahead of things. I love that. In business world, we call it being an optimist, but panic sooner, which I think is important. Like what could happen, but I love that leading and helping people anticipate things. Here's the next question I'd like for you to inspire us on. Can you provide some examples of how your students may have used their social media in a positive or productive way that may have benefited themselves or their community?
Absolutely. One that I'm really proud of is the Dighton-Rehoboth High School Theater Company. They are prolific on Instagram with producing different scenarios about their shows, their fundraising efforts. And we have seen the attendance go up at their performances. We have seen their fundraising production go up. And a lot of it is due to the fact that they just have a very healthy and robust presence on Instagram. And the other students in the school are learning about what their classmates are doing in the theater program. And things have gone so well with our theater company that they've received some national recognition recently. And we're very proud of them for that.
Congratulations. It sounds like a really good community coming together. The next question I'd love for you to share with us is what suggestions would you have for parents nationwide and other communities to encourage their kids to use technology in a positive way, both in the classroom and at home?
As a parent myself, I try to share with other parents that being open and honest and just trying to be as real with your child as possible is really the best strategy. I heard many times from my kids, Dad, you're just no fun, or Dad, you're trying to be a killjoy. But if you having an open and honest conversation to let them know how much you care about them and their safety, I think that you can start from a place of trust and that you can help them to maybe take those barriers down, take those blinders off, and be willing to listen to it from your perspective and not just some old fossil that doesn't know anything about, how kids operate today.
Now, let's dive into your suggestions for other districts, but I want to get specific about something interesting. And I think this is something big nationwide. I think we all agree it's important for parents to be a part of this dialogue of keeping their kids safe and resilient for the future and helping them launch. And parents really are the partners of so many districts nationwide. What are your suggestions for other districts to increase parent engagement, to get them on the same page as the school and the district? In that same question, are there any specific channels or events that get you the biggest turnout to get parents either on campus or online? What are your thoughts there?
I think one of the things is really important, Josh, to try to standardize your communication as much as possible. Most of us live off of smartphones these days. And if you can have a district app that provides one-stop shopping for families, if they can't remember what time parent-teacher conferences started, or if they can't remember what the lunch menu for the next week, having a district-wide app that families can access to be able to get information pretty quickly. We're using an app now in our district that also links to our social media platforms. So when we post something through that app, it automatically pushes through to Facebook and it pushes through to Instagram. And those are our two primary platforms. And I think that has been a way that we've been able to standardize our newsletters, that we've been able to standardize a lot of our district and school-wide communication.
I love that because if we're thinking like a parent, parents have so much going on, emails, phone calls, texts, and everything. And if they have one place to go for the district to click on and they can click on the kid's school and stuff like that, it makes it easy for them. And it's a native app. That's a great idea. And I think really tactical and helpful for parents. Are you getting good feedback from parents on that?
We are. Yeah, we're still in the infancy with it. So there are some bugs that we have to work out. We have a really collaborative relationship with our teachers union. And when I arrived a couple of years ago, understandably, we had teachers using various parent communication apps, and we're trying to standardize that. It takes time. We don't want to try to force anything down our teachers' throats. They have enough to worry about.
Yeah.
And so I think that we're making great strides with it. The feedback that we've received from the families that are using it has been largely positive at this point.
Yeah, that's terrific. Well, we're about to dive into the hottest topic that everybody's talking about. I'm so excited to ask you about it, but let's pause for just a sec. I want to take a moment to thank the hundreds of school districts nationwide in 29 different states who are using the smartsocial.com parent engagement program to keep parents updated on Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, all the apps out there, and how to have a rich dialogue with kids. Thank you, districts, for delivering our 54 plus live online events to people. Also, for helping use the 450 plus resource in English, Espanol, Mandarin, and 14 languages now, which is exciting. And also, thanks for using our teen friendly portal that allows your school districts and schools to let teens access the teen program, Teens Teaching Teens. We're grateful for all the support and all the lives that we're saving. So thank you, and shout out to my incredible team. All right, we're back to the program. Let's go ahead and dive into the hottest topic. This topic is what everybody's talking about, and I don't even think we all have it all figured out. I want to get your take on this and what your approach is, what your thoughts, what your concerns are. But how is your school district approaching AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude?
We are navigating slowly but surely. It is definitely something that we are well aware of. And I think at the core, we see it as a tool and almost like a power tool. If you're using it safely and if you're using it responsibly, it can be for good. But if you're careless or if you're not being thoughtful about how you use it, then that's where it starts to become problematic. We as a district did not want to rush into any sort of handbook verbiage or any sort of district policy before we had an opportunity to really test the waters and see how things were going. I think that it is something that is starting to be woven into more and more of our daily technology applications. For instance, I used an app on my phone for keeping my emails organized, and that app has an AI generated response available to me if I would like to use that. And so it is something that I think is here for the future. And we have a responsibility to learn as much about it ourselves so that we can impart to our students how to use it safely, how to use it responsibly, and ultimately to use it for good.
I think you just said that beautifully. Well put. We don't know where it's going to go, but it's a good start learning it, getting ahead of it, and doing our due diligence, if you will. I think that's terrific. I want to thank you, Superintendent. Thank you so much for your time here today. You've been a great guest.
Thank you so much, Josh. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the work that you do and that Smart Social does to be able to protect our students.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. For all of our listeners, viewers, anywhere in the world, I'm Josh Oakes, your host and founder of the smartsocial.com website. And I want to remind all of you, always remember online and offline to keep it light, bright, and polite, as the title of my book tells you, because your kids are watching what you're doing and you are their number one model. We'll see you all on the next episode. Thanks for all the support. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks for listening to our smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Oakes. This was our District Talk segment where we interview school district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday launch into their future by shining online. This episode was brought to you by our smartsocial.com VIP program. It's called the Very Informed Parent Program, which helps you engage your students with teen-led video lessons. Stay one step ahead with our premium parent newsletter and discover hidden features on trending apps on teens' phones and our 54 plus live parent and student-friendly events every single year. You can click on the link below to chat with one of our team members if you want a free pass to our VIP program to support your community with our smartsocial.com resources. And if you're a district leader who has a success story, we would love to feature you on a future episode. You can click the links below to reach out. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.